funding your business. Super important because a lot's changing in the whole funding side, because it used to be friends, family, and fools that put money in your business. And then, of course, you have the angel investors, venture capitalists. And then if you needed a lot of money, you would go to an investment banker, maybe a hedge fund, or even a sovereign wealth fund. I know there's a bunch there you may not be aware of. But now the world has changed, where there's an online audience that can participate in what you're doing, an online community that you may not even physically know. And we've seen things like Kickstarter, Indiegogo, GoFundMe, and these platforms do incredibly well by bringing people into great stuff, from exploding kittens to the Pebble watch. But how about the idea of not just buying a product, but participating in the growth of that company? Wouldn't it be great if you could have invested into a Tesla before it was really even Tesla, to where you had equity in the company at a small amount, not as something that cost you hundreds and thousands of dollars? Well, that time is here, and a lot is changing. And what I've done is I've asked probably one of the sharpest guys when it comes to this, Vincent Bradley, to come on the show on a regular basis to really educate us on what's going on with the idea of using the crowd to fund your business. So Vincent, thanks a lot for hanging out with us.
Awesome, Ken. Great to be back.
Let's make sure everyone knows your company. It's FlashFunders?
Yep, flashfunders.com.
How's it going?
It's going well. We're excited. 2016 should be a big year for us.
It's a really big year for you guys, because the government, United States government, has said, hey, let's open up the floodgates.
Yep, exactly.
Right?
Yeah, they're kind of waking up after 80 years of overregulation, as we like to say.
Well, but I also think that they realize that entrepreneurial world of starting businesses, the more of those that are there, the better they do. Hopefully, the more taxes they'll pay, which is good for the economy, right?
Yeah, I mean, 6 out of 10 jobs are created by small businesses in this country.
I didn't know that stat.
Yeah, it's huge. 120 million Americans work for small businesses.
So if I wanted to invest in a business as a private investor, okay, an angel investor, there's a specific criteria that's been set for a long time. You would call us an accredited investor.
Yep.
What's an accredited investor?
Yeah, so traditionally, if you want to invest in a private company, separate from public, if you're public, you can go on your Schwab account, your E-Trade account, you can buy a stock. But if you want to make a private investment, you had to be accredited. And accredited is defined as by someone that makes $200,000 a year, joint income of $300,000 with their spouse, or has a net worth of $1 million, minus the value of their home. So what is the test that is taken to validate that? Is that something that's from your tax records, or what? Exactly. Depending on the type of investment, the company has to validate it by the tax records. There is a self-certify where investors can certify themselves. The big news that just came out.
Okay, this is a big thing right now.
Yeah,
okay?
it's a big deal. It's a big deal.
What is it?
So the big news is the SEC is looking at that definition, and they're thinking about how can we expand the number of people that are accredited. And one of the things they're looking at is potentially sophisticated individuals will be able to take a test or go online and do an online course and become accredited that way. So think about if you're an econ professor at the University of Michigan or Harvard.
Make $100,000
Make $100,000 a year. You are an expert in finance.
Right.
You right now cannot invest in private companies. That's outrageous.
It is.
It's outrageous. You can go to Vegas, you can blow your college kids fund on the craps tables, but you can't invest in a startup. You can't invest in people. That's ridiculous.
But you're saying they're looking at the definition. Doesn't mean it's approved yet.
It's an exploratory mission, but it's a big step for the SEC.
Let's now go back to the Jobs Act.
Yep.
That's basically around the idea of it's crowdfunding, right?
Yep.
It took how many years for that to get approved? What, 4?
Yeah, basically 4 years after Congress approved the bill. It took 4 years for the SEC to act upon it.
Do you know what a glacier is? Do you know what it is?
I think so.
You're going to be seeing one actually next month. You know that, right?
I'm excited, yeah.
A glacier moves really slow.
Yep.
I feel like Congress is the same thing. I know you're excited about this, but you're going to be well in your 30s by the time this probably gets approved.
Yeah, I mean, I realistically, I think that makes sense. It's important, though.
I'm not disagreeing. It's exciting to hear this, okay? But let's also focus on what's available today. I think this year, 2016, and you and I are going to talk about this every week, is now we can go and say, hey, you want to invest money in our business and you're not accredited, there's new avenues that are going to open up for that.
Yep.
Right?
Yep. So crowdfunding, and we're actually getting ready to apply.
You are. Awesome.
January 26th, we apply with FINRA to get our license to crowdfund. So that's 2 weeks away.
Takes till about August for it to all open up.
Yeah, I mean, no one knows We expect it to be a 4 to 6 month review process with FINRA before we get approved. It might be sooner. It might be longer. We're going to do everything we can to get it out as soon as possible.
FINRA is the oversight community that looks at this, right?
Yeah, FINRA is the Financial Industry Regulatory Authority, which is a self-regulated organization. So it's not a government organization. It is a private organization that regulates broker-dealers in the United States.
Got it. This is what I'd like to do next time you come on, okay?
Yep.
I want you to take a couple of companies that have gone through your process.
Yep.
And I want to talk about the successful ones and the ones that weren't successful and what they did differently to go through a crowdfunding process. You up for that?
That sounds awesome.
I like that. Again, people want to find out more about your site and your platform. Where do they go?
Yeah, so go to flashfunders.com. You can check out the site. You can apply to be on the site if you want to raise capital. You can also email me at vincent@flashfunders.com, and I'll get back to you and get you on the platform.
He's really quick. Vincent, thanks a lot for hanging out.
Thanks, Ken.